Hey, what's going on, my friends? Gangsters of life. Welcome to the Jackson Gage Collective. My name is Jackson Gage, and this is my podcast, the most intriguing podcast in the world. Thanks for listening. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about depression because there's a huge number of people who suffer with depression in the world, and there's ways to combat depression other than, the fucked up pharmaceuticals that are handed out to people, like candy in today's day and age. And, we're getting away from that a little bit. Well, maybe we're not. I digress. We're not getting away from that, but we have a lot of companies who are studying psychedelics right now to turn them into pharmaceuticals for the purposes of mental health medicine. And these things do the same things as the prescription medicine that you're getting, but without all the side effects because it's natural. It's from the plants, right? The plants are our friends, as Hunter Gage says. And, but yeah, depression is something that I've battled with in the past. And currently, it's something that I'm always keeping it at bay. And, we get depression for a lot of different reasons, a lot of the time, like Jim Carrey says, that depression is a sign that you are not doing what you love in life, right? You're living in the incorrect avatar. I don't know the exact quote, but what he's saying is, you're going to go into a depression if you're waking up every day doing something that you don't really want to do. And in the big scheme of things, if you look at our society, naturally we're from nature, man. We used to live these free lives, out in nature, and over time, whether it's by evolution and the growth of our own minds or by forces outside of ourselves, we've been brought into civilization. And what is civilization for us? It's, for the most part, living in a cube, waking up every day, working, giving your energy away to the system, to the machine, and working your life away, doing something you don't really care about doing. And I'm not saying that's everybody, but most people who are depressed fit that mold, right? So when you're doing something you don't want to do every day, you become unhappy, and you make decisions that aren't the best for you in your life. And, when you're making decisions in a valley, those decisions, that valley space that you're in when you make those decisions is going to be reflected in your decisions, and your whole life can turn very shitty if you're living an unhappy life. And so for me, man, after I left the police department, I've talked about this before, but I was diagnosed with PTSD, and the way that affected me was with really severe depression. And then I've gone through other things in my life that have really sparked that depression again, and, one of the things was going through a really heavy, really long back and forth, shitty marriage that turned into a divorce. And that shit's hard when you have children. And anyone who's going through that, you can hit me up. We can talk about it. I've been through it. I've been able to overcome that portion of my life, but it was hard when it was happening. And, leaving a career, I was given the option to retire from the police department. And after 10 years, and I took it. And that's a scary place to be as well, right? 10 years, the whole network you've built since you were a young guy starting as a police officer, all your friends, everybody you never hear from them again once you leave. That steady income, that good insurance, those are things that those are comfort zone, treasures that keep us in the comfort zone, right? The magnets of the comfort zone, the jewels of the comfort zone, right? Good insurance, good paycheck, our network, our comfort, our friends, a steady paycheck. Those are things that keep us right inside of that comfort zone. But most of us that are stuck inside of that comfort zone have a bigger vision for our life, right? You're doing that job. You're waking up every day. Your alarm goes off. And the first thing you think is, motherfucker, right? And that alarm goes off. Fuck, not again. Here we go. It's only fucking Tuesday. 4 more days of this bullshit, right? And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, one of these days I'm going to be free. One of these days I'm going to travel. One of these days I'm not going to be stuck in this shitty marriage. One of these days I'm going to go create a documentary about something that I'm very interested in. One of these days I'm going to set off and start painting like I've always wanted to do. Whatever it is, one of these days I'm going to ride a bike across the fucking United States. or fly a hot air balloon around the world in 80 fucking days. Whatever it is that you've been thinking about, it's just a thought in the back of your mind. And we never go after it because of the fear of leaving the treasures of the comfort zone, the paycheck, the friends and the family and the house that we have, and all these things that keep us comfortable in this society, that keeps us slaves. And, for me, when I left that job, that's what happened, man. I went into a pretty bad depression because all of a sudden I wasn't making the same amount of money. All the friends that I had at that department, it whittled down to about 3 or 4 guys who I still speak to. You have this huge network of friends, but none of them oh, he's not a cop no more, I'm not going to hit him up. We're not friends with that guy anymore. That's how that works, and it's just the natural order of things, I guess. And you have to rebuild, So I just sold everything and I moved to Kauai. I stayed there a few years, sold everything again, moved back to San Diego while going through a divorce. And through that whole time, I was figuring out ways to naturally battle depression. And to this day, I have to do these things to stay at bay, to keep depression at bay. And a big one is exercise. Sounds pretty simple, but you got to exercise every fucking day. And when I say exercise, I mean, man, you got to break a good sweat, whether that's running. I found that running, if I can burn 500 calories, like I'll set a goal of 500 calories, and that'll be about 40 minutes to an hour of running. And when I get done, I feel fucking amazing for the rest of the day. The depression, unhappiness, whatever it is gone for the rest of the fucking day. If I can burn off 500 calories running, my knees hurt, my legs hurt, my back hurts. But I don't give a fuck because I feel good mentally. And when I feel good mentally, I can live a happy life. There's an ebb and a flow of happiness. Happiness is not something that you just have one day, and then you're just happy forever. You have to earn that shit. It comes and goes. You start feeling shitty. You do the things that make you feel better. Then you feel better. You start feeling shitty again. You do the things that make you feel better. Maybe that's the price we pay of living in this civilized cage that we live in this matrix, Jiu-jitsu has been a huge one for me, training Brazilian jiu-jitsu very often. I've been in and out of there. I haven't trained for a couple months due to a few injuries and some major personal stuff that I've been dealing with. But jiu-jitsu is probably the biggest one for me as far as, I got the fucking sweater on right here, jiu-jitsu, as far as feeling better and feeling happy, clearing my mind, because when you go out there and you challenge the fuck out of yourself regularly, when you push yourself, when you fight, when you step into that primal mode of human being, the human that our natural state, right? Our natural state is not sitting in front of a computer. We're evolving into that, right? We sit in front of these motherfuckers so much and these screens that we're evolving into fucking cyborgs. But at this point, we're not there yet. So we have to keep our natural state healthy by moving, Drinking water is a huge one. Drinking water, here's what you do. You get some good water, not from the sink, motherfucker. You get some water. I go to the water store once a week and I buy, 7 to 10 gallons of water, probably around 7 gallons usually, mostly reverse osmosis, a couple gallons of alkaline water. And then I take little droplets of magnesium. You can go to Trace Elements. It's on, you can get it on Amazon, Trace Elements magnesium droplets. And you put these little droplets in your bottle of water each day, or your canister, whatever the fuck you're drinking water out of. And, you got to drink good water. You got to try to drink a gallon a day. If you drink half a gallon, you'll be okay. But if you can kill a gallon a day, especially if you're active, it's very important. And magnesium is responsible for about 223, 230, 300, fucking somewhere in there. 200, let's say 250 functions. You can look it up and correct me, but that's just a rough estimate. 250 functions in the human body. Magnesium is responsible for those functions, and 80-something% of people are deficient in magnesium. So you have to have, when you put magnesium in your water every day, you just feel better. It helps with your mood. It's a big part of your mood and your happiness, your focus, your relaxation at night, your ability to sleep, your ability to function. Your body functions better with magnesium and lots of water. We're made of water for the most part. This magical fucking liquid that flows through the fucking sphere that we float through space on. We have to put this water, this magical liquid, we got to put it down our throat and into our stomach and absorb it into our body in order to stay alive. And we're lucky enough to have this liquid. If there was none of this liquid on the earth, we would all be fucking dead. So you might as well get the highest quality of this magical liquid that you can and put it in your body as often as possible because it keeps you alive. Right. The same with oxygen treatment. I haven't done that, but I've been looking into oxygen treatment, lately, just, taking in pure oxygen and all the things it does for your health. Look that up. The Lifestylist podcast had an episode recently on this guy who's like an oxygen expert. It was pretty interesting. So check the host of that show his name is Luke Story. Very intelligent dude, all completely focused on, holistic health and that type of shit. And a very interesting podcast, Lifestylist podcast. But yeah, so water, staying active, magnesium. I also take B12 injections. Look up B12 injections. I take B12 injections in my ass, put it right in my ass cheek and I give them to myself. I take those every day. Some people take them once a week, depends on how you measure it out, but I take a small amount, 0.5 milligrams or milliliters, 0.5 milliliters on a daily basis. And it gets your energy levels up, keeps you focused, helps with your mood. And we're also very B12 deficient in our society. So B12 is important. I also take vitamin D very often, or every day. I take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. So like 5 pills, 5 little capsules with the gel in it. I take 5 of those per day of vitamin D. I drink vitamin C. I'll take a cup of vitamin C. What else do I take? These are all the supplements I'm giving you that help me out. What else do I take? There's a fiber. I can't think of the name of it at the moment, but you mix it in your water. God damn it. What is that stuff called? Psyllium husk. That's what it is. I saw it over there. Psyllium husk. Dude, try that out. That'll keep your whole intestines clean. Your whole intestines clean. You'll take the healthiest fucking shits that you ever took in your life on a daily basis, right when you wake up, if you drink that every day. And that's important, man, because our gut biome and our stomach, some say it's like our second brain. We got to keep it healthy. You can't let shit get clogged up in there or anything like that. So psyllium husk is a big one. Hit me up if you have any questions about any of the other supplements I take. I take quite a few, and I rotate some in there. But those are my mainstays. Those are my big ones. Magnesium, vitamin D3, and B12 injections. Those are huge for me. So, those are some of the things that help with depression. Meditation helps with depression. I'm not the biggest meditator, but if I going out in nature is my meditation. One of my good friends loves to meditate. He's a life coach and he's big on transcendental meditation and sitting at home in silence and meditating. But man, that doesn't really ever do shit for me, and everybody's different. But for me, I like to go. I live by the ocean here in San Diego. I live 5 minutes from a nice beach, and as often as I can, I like to go and swim in the water. And I don't go for like a swim, like I'm swimming through the water in the deep water. I'll just go like up to my neck and meditate, man. Just get some silence, dive under the waves, hold my breath, swim under the water a little bit, let the cold water just, soak into my skin, all of the minerals in the water, let the sun hit me, soak up that vitamin D. And you feel amazing when you get out. And especially here in the Pacific Ocean, it's pretty cold water compared to like when I was living in Hawaii, where it's clear, warm water. Over here, it's cold water, but the cold water, you feel even better when you get out of the really cold water. You feel amazing mentally. So that's a big one. The sauna, I'm big on the sauna, 3 or 4 days a week, 30 minutes in the sauna. It depends. I don't know how hot. Usually around 160 is as hot as the one at my gym gets. I'd like it to get a little hotter, but I'll do 30 minutes in there 3 to 4 times a week. They say that there was a Swedish study that showed that 3 to 4 times or 4 times a week at 30 minutes in a sauna that was like 180 degrees decreased all-cause mortality by 40%. That means every reason that you could die would decrease by 40%. 40 motherfucking percent. That's almost 50%. That's almost half of the percentage of all the reasons you could fucking die. Decrease, cut it right in half just by sitting in the sauna 4 times a week, for 30 minutes. So I try to stay religious with that shit. What else do we do? Being around people, getting around people. When you're feeling like shit and you're stuck at home, go out for a walk where there's people. Go get your senses maneuvering into life, because when you sit at home, you can just kind of dig yourself a hole mentally. I've done it. I do it all the time. I'll sit here for a lot. Sometimes if I finish my creation and I'm off for the day and I don't have anything to work on, I'll get on my phone, and 3 hours later, I'm like, holy fuck, what have I done with myself for the past 3 hours? That's when you get really fucking depressed. So I'll get up. Even here, I have a big apartment complex that I live in here. And I'll get up and go for a speed walk for fucking 20 minutes if I feel like that, just to get outside. Like, I'll probably go for one right after this, just because I'm kind of warm now with this goddamn hoodie and this beanie on, even though it's cold outside. I need to go for a walk. So I'm going to do that. Call your friends. Get on fucking Marco Polo, the app, with some of your friends. If you need to talk to somebody, send a message, just talk. You'll feel better, So those are some of the things I do for depression. I didn't want to make this one too long, keep it around 20 minutes, whatever. But those are some of the things I do. If you have any questions, please hit me up. Follow me on Instagram at The Increased Life. Hit me up on Instagram. Shoot me a DM if you have any questions. You can follow this podcast on Spotify. You can follow me on YouTube, Jackson Gage. I have clips from this podcast. Also, if you're on iTunes podcast, follow there, leave ratings and review everywhere you go. I would appreciate that. And if you're depressed, just know that there's always hope for you. There's always hope. You just got to do the right things. You have to do the right things. You have to take the right actions. It's not going to be found in drugs or alcohol or sex or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It's not going to be found in any of those things. Loneliness sometimes is the best medicine for you. And, unfortunately, when people are lonely, they jump into shitty fucking relationships that end up in disaster because they can't stand being alone. I know somebody very close to me who's done that recently. She jumped into a relationship with someone she didn't want to be with. She ended up staying with him because he has a little bit of money. And so she kind of got stuck in it, while at the same time hating the guy. Then he proposed to her and she accepted because she had no other choice. She got so intertwined with him. Then she got pregnant. All the things she didn't want to do. She's created her own hell as opposed to being alone. She'd rather live in hell than be alone because she thinks loneliness is hell. But loneliness is where all the fucking magic of life happens, right? That's where we learn how to love who we truly are, when we can be alone for long extended periods of time without somebody else. We can get through all of our mental issues and work on ourselves and do the things we need to do. Use psychedelics if we need to. Whatever you're doing, you focus on yourself for a while. Focus on learning how to love who you are. And then you run into somebody who has done the same thing. And then you have two people who love themselves. And that's where a healthy, thriving relationship is born. But if you're jumping into a relationship because you don't want to be lonely, if you're jumping into a relationship just because you want like somebody for their money, if you're a female jumping into a relationship because you want a dude for his money, you're just that's another way to explain that, that's another description of what a whore is. A whore is just a lower level, but the guy's getting what he wants and you're getting money from him. You're still a whore. You're still a whore for going after a dude for his money. No offense to you, but look in the mirror. It is what it is. But yeah, learn how to be alone, learn how to be with yourself. And that's when you can learn how to do that and apply some of the tools that I've talked about in this episode. Stay busy, and don't stay busy to escape yourself. Stay busy to work on yourself, do the things that make you feel good, put in that work in the maintenance time so that you feel good. Because when you feel good, that's when you can create, you can do the things you love. When you feel good, that's when you go out into the world confident. When you go out into the world confident, that's when you create the life that you want. But it starts with cultivating that power within yourself, that confidence within yourself, that self-love within yourself by being alone and going within yourself and working on you, because nothing outside of yourself is going to make you feel better. Nothing outside of you is going to make you happy. There's no purchase that's going to make you happy. There's no love. There's no relationship that's going to make you happy. There's no amount of money that's going to make you happy. None of that will fix the sickness that resides within you until you let go of all those material things and you focus on you. You focus on your relationship with all that there is, with the one. You are it. You are the one. Focus on you, your connection with all knowledge, with God. Whatever God is to you, that's where it is, right? I searched for God and I found only myself. I searched for myself and I found only God. So anyhow, keep the faith if you're depressed. Just know that there's answers out there. I'm here to help. There's a lot of people out there to help. Depression will go away. Sometimes depression is you in your cocoon, and you're turning into the butterfly and you don't know it. And if you go and find ways to get out of your depression that aren't healthy, you're going to skip the metamorphosis. You're going to skip the part where you turn into the butterfly. You have to go through the fire. You have to go through the flames. You have to go through the difficult portion of your life. You have to step through it in faith, knowing that everything is going to work out. Don't try to escape it with drugs and partying and alcohol and sex and boyfriends and girlfriends and material things. That's not going to fucking get you to where you need to be, right? Those are all different type of masters. There's only one, right? It's you. Find out who you are by walking through the flames and accepting it and, accepting where you are. We've all gone through it, and this is how we become who we're meant to be in life. So, stay on the path. You can do it. If you have any questions, please hit me up. There's always hope. There's always light, but you have the power to be the person you want to be. You have the power to create the life you want. You have the power to, step into your vision. You have the power to do whatever you want to do. And instead of, sitting and feeling sorry for yourself, stand up and get to work, put all of your ideas into action. Go out and serve the world your magic. Go out and serve the world what you have to offer, your light. That's what we're here for. And I say it all the time. We rise by lifting others. You want to rise up in your life, lift up some other people, man, and do that by serving them your truth, serving them your love, serving them your light. And the way you do that is first working on who you are and letting the metamorphosis happen. Become the fucking butterfly. But it's not an effort that you can make. It's not a goal that you're looking for. All you can worry about, all we have is right now. All we have is this moment. So in this moment, do what you can to be happy and feel good. And it's not always easy, but it's always fucking possible. Just don't take the other routes that are going to lead you into darkness. Okay. So follow me on Instagram at The Increased Life. Follow us on Spotify, on iTunes, subscribe, ratings, reviews. Follow me on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment, share it with somebody. We would appreciate it. And yeah, man, thanks for listening. This is the Jackson Gage Collective. My name is Jackson Gage. You are a gangster of life, and I appreciate you being here. And we don't just talk about it, we live it. Peace and blessings and love to you. Thank you.